we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same.
What's going on, local 1700 brothers and sisters? What's going on, Big Rick? You all right, bro?
Hey man, I'm blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored. That's good, man. Saw yesterday, the Dawn Seekers was out yesterday, getting that spiritual knowledge. That was a good thing. And today you blessed and highly favored. That's good. You know, I do want to say something though.
Let's go.
I want to say, Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans.
Oh, absolutely. Because without their services, we can't sit here doing what we doing.
And that is true, especially in these days and times, man. I know the other day we was out there on first shift. We made first shift for the Veterans Wall when they gave out some donuts and some coffee and some certificates and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, good recognition. Definitely, like I said before, with their commitments, because they definitely able to do something that I unfortunately don't have the courage to do. And to go into war at any type of level is definitely courageous. So they definitely need to be saluted for that.
So with that being said, let's recognize this day as Veterans Day. Show your loved ones, take them out to dinner. For those that's going out to the cemeteries to honor their fallen loved ones, keep them in mind, keep them in prayer. And, once again, happy Veterans Day for everybody out there. I want to move on, I always do my regular spiel. Make sure that you update your information over to your benefit rep. It's always important that you talk to your benefit rep and check your benefits once. I say do at least once every 90 days. That'll be a good marker to make sure that everything is up to date the way you want it to. Go ahead.
And then also just have a conversation with your benefit reps because it's a lot of things that that you may not know that you definitely want to get information on. So just stop by and have those conversations because things as far as any type of benefits, whether it's retirement or anything like that, because it was things that I didn't know that you just want to prepare for because you just never know when sickness, illness, and unfortunate, your untimely death that you have all your benefits in order. So that's definitely important.
Right, man, the benefits is a wealth of information. I was down at the retiree meeting the other day. They always had their meeting just like we do once a month. And they had a whole slew of vendors down here for the retirees and as it relates to their benefits, because things are constantly changing. So if we got any retirees that's listening to this podcast, or if we got any members that got family members that retired, encourage them to get in touch with their benefit rep. Life insurance. There's a whole lot of things that's wrapped up in there, so make sure you get in touch with your benefit rep.
Sure.
I want to also always say your TAP rep, get that education. If nothing else, this is that time. I always say going into the winter time, man, nobody want to really go outside, right?
Right.
So you can take online classes, or if you want to get out there and battle the snow and slush, fortunately we don't have none yet.
Yeah. Hopefully it don't come no time soon.
Man, Indian summer is what they call it.
Hey, I'll take it.
I'll take it too. But, this is the time, that you should, enroll in school, see what TAP funds that you got available to you so you can utilize them because that's a benefit that the union fought for.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of jobs don't have that benefit. And it's to further your education. You may want to do something different outside of the automotive field. I always say it's feast and famine, so it's good to have something that you can fall back on.
You rather have it and don't need it than need it and don't have it. So
Yeah.
It's definitely not anything against you if you take advantage of it.
Attendance. We always talk about attendance, and this one I'm going to say a little bit different. This is what I want everybody to do. After you listen to this podcast, I want you to just go and check your attendance. That's all I want you to do. Just check it. Because what I come to find out is a lot of times people don't realize the errors that may be in there, or it may not be an error, but where you actually are at. I mean, we all know this attendance policy is brutal.
Yes, sir.
You get what? You get hit for calling in late. You get hit for you came in tardy, but you didn't call it. It's so many ways you can get hit with a double hit and a triple hit. In one day, you can accumulate damn near 3-4 attendance occurrences in one shot.
Yeah, and it's really just something that you may have overlooked. You forgot that you took this day off, or you know what? I thought I was covered on this day. So yeah, you definitely want to look. And even me being a rep, I definitely still check mine because those incidents can happen to where something is overlooked. So just going over it will definitely eliminate the possibility of you being, brought in on attendance issues and discipline for something that's not warranted. So you definitely want to look over it.
As we all know, because we do know this, the company jacks up.
All the time.
They do these last minute scheduling, then they cancel, and then they schedule you or hell, we had a holiday today. You know, they may have scheduled or didn't go in there and take the people out showing that it's a holiday. And by the time they correct it, it already generated the hit. And we all know right now attendance is not being done at the plant local level.
Right,
I should have said the plant level, but the plant level, right? It's been done at corporate somewhere crazy, probably out of the country, and now you got to chase that down. So it's better to be proactive and see it early than late because it's hard to chase them down later.
Yeah, sometimes when it comes to attendance, a lot of times when management make a mistake, they don't like to fess up to the mistake. So a lot of times you have to live out their mistake before it's corrected. Unfortunately, that's either you getting suspended or unfortunately terminated before they correct it. So before you even get yourself into that situation, you definitely want to always look over your attendance and then correct any type of mistakes that's there because, like you said, they are there and management make mistakes.
Yeah. And just for a point of reference, if it is their mistake, and hopefully we can get it before the termination or suspension, that's why we asking you to just go check it, go look at it. You know, only take about 10 minutes to check your attendance, just like you check your check. Then we can fix it. But if you do get terminated or suspended, then it's unjust. Obviously, we're going to fight 100% and get you made whole for that situation. But make sure you're on the right side of the law on that part because they always pushing attendance as being the number one easy way to get people out, right?
Yes, sir.
I did the shout out for veterans. I want to talk about, Rick, over in your shop. You got a new steward over there, don't you?
Yeah, Shanti Mormon. She just got elected. Congratulations to her. Definitely a strong woman and ready to get out there and fight for the members. She's definitely a welcomed addition. She's definitely straight up the middle. She's not gonna lie or try to spin you. She's gonna definitely fight for everything that you got coming. And I couldn't be more happy to her. Happy for her, I should say.
Yeah. Well, you know, I called it the Sandy Dix effect, right? You know, Sandy Dix is one of the strong women leadership that we had way back in the day.
Yeah.
And since then, I've seen multiple women come up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And I've seen some, you know, sign up and, you know, at some point weren't able to make it. But then I also seen others who signed up, ran, and became a force to be reckoned with. You know, this is not an easy business to be in, but for those women that was able to make it, even the ones that didn't make it, just to open up the door and break that glass ceiling, you know.
And then just saying that, hey, I can get out there and I can do it better than my male counterparts, you know, because a lot of times just the thought is, I think I could run over that one. But no, I mean, we got some that's getting elected that they're forced to be reckoned with. So, you know, I definitely salute them. And Ashanti is definitely one of them. I think the second shift for Body and Paint South, they're in good hands because she definitely ready to go to war.
And we need women in leadership roles. I'm telling you why, because it balances out the men, you know. Sometimes we thinking, hey, let me tell you, I'm all for it because I'm a man.
Right.
Sometimes we can get tunnel vision on some things, and we don't see a broader view. And women have brought that perspective to us. So I will say, you know, we need some women, good, strong women in leadership that can give us a different perspective. So congratulations, Ashanti. I just tip my hat to you. Hang in there. It's going to be some rough days, baby, but, you know, you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Always communicate, I tell you, because holding that in, I tell you, it's a what we call a thankless job.
Oh, yeah, it is that.
You're going to get beat up, and sometimes you're going to feel like it's not even worth it, but to know that you're fighting for someone that don't have a voice, that's what makes it rewarding. At the end of the day, as long as you know that, you'll be just fine. But just pace yourself, and everything will work out.
And read that book. I talked to her the other day. She came down here. Stay in that book.
You got to stay in it.
All the books. Because some languages carry over language.
That's
You're
right.
like, what? You know that was in there? But yeah.
But the way you may have saw it as just a regular member is different when you're actually representing that language. Because when you're on the floor, you go off how you feel. You know, I feel it should go this way. But then once you become elected or just come open to what the language actually means, you say, oh, you know what? Even though I feel this way, that's not contractually how that go.
Right.
So a lot of times those are the wake up moments when you take these jobs. Is you have good intentions, but then you find out that it's actually written on how you are to handle certain issues.
That's true.
Yeah.
Skilled trades, it's a runoff for them. I have gotten some calls regarding how the calculation is done. From my understanding, from my experience, it's 50% plus one of the total votes cast. I mean, all the votes collectively together. I did send out an email to the election committee chair. She most definitely will be speaking at the union meeting coming up this week. Matter of fact, the union meeting is the 17th at 12 o'clock. But She will be announcing what that runoff date is. And for those who are running for that skilled trade second shift steward, I wish you guys the best of luck. Get out there, hey, pound the pavement, let the people know who you are, and I see you at the end when you be out there saying, hey, you won, and you out there serving the people.
Absolutely. Just shout out because these are definitely not easy. So to be able to take have the courage to stand up and say that you want to be a part of this, definitely, like you say, congratulations to both, to the candidates, I should say, and may the best person win.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 of them that ran for the same spot, and they created the runoff because of the 50% plus one. But like I said, the election chair, she will be speaking on that because I did send her an email and I got a couple of calls just so everybody can get a full understanding of how that process worked, right?
Yep.
And how it's decided out. Now, I know I mentioned that the union meeting is coming up on the 17th. That would be this Sunday.
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah, this Sunday, 12 o'clock. As always, it's once a month. Now, December, which is the Christmas time, that meeting has already been canceled, which is historically what has always been done, so there's nothing out of the ordinary there. But this Sunday, we will have some guests in the house. It'll be your international reps coming down to speak to the membership as it relates to the Durango letter, and which is a product placement letter, and also the Belvedere or the Keep Your Promise letter that we out there saying it's called the U.S. investment letter is what it's called.
Right.
I know I spoke on it a couple of times at the meeting, and I also spoke on this podcast about it, but they wanted to come down and talk to local 1700 membership. If you have any questions, please bring those questions to the meeting as it relates to those topics that they were speaking about specifically.
Right.
I know last time I spoke, I said, at some point we may have to come to a hard decision or we may take a strike vote. Once again, we are not there.
Right.
So I know it's going into holidays time. So, we are not there where we're about to take a strike authorization vote, but we're still having these strategy meetings. And I believe that's one of the reasons the international is coming down is so they can discuss with the membership what we're looking at, what position we are in as a whole.
Right.
And
then this will be the time that you, as you mentioned, you can ask the questions because a lot of times we feel that I'm not ready to go out there, but now if International's coming down, they're giving you that peek behind the curtain, so to speak. So they can really let you know what's the intentions, what's the goal, and what we're trying to accomplish. So if you got any questions at all, this is the time to speak and ask those questions, no matter what it is. And always remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So you ask the question because they are there to give you those answers.
Absolutely. At the local level, when we have questions from our membership that we can't answer, we always send them up to the international to get some clarity or get a point of view.
Right.
That may be translated back. But on these particular issues, they're going to come in and speak for themselves so that way you can cut out the middleman. That'll be me, middleman there.
Right.
But cut out the middleman. You can ask them the questions directly as it relates to those two issues. Hey, we already see at our plant, they're constantly cutting jobs, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to go into one of my topics. I'm not there yet, but it's going to be about the layoffs. We know we just laid off another, they.
84 people.
Yeah. It's a big number. But before we get there, so International will be in the house, but also during that meeting, I need everybody to come out and support the Women's Committee. They're doing a Thanksgiving fundraiser. They're going to have chicken wings, pasta salad dinners, and they'll do a $10 raffle for gift cards, turkeys, and baskets. We are finna get into that holiday time where we get to eat good.
I don't need to do no more of that.
Yeah, hey man, let me tell you, we finna turn up at the table, baby.
Yeah.
So if you can come out and support that, we always encourage our committees to do fundraisers. That way we can offset the cost of some of the things that they want to do later on going down the line. So it won't come out the local pot as a whole. So I congratulate the Women's Committee for coming out and trying to put this together. So I'm asking all the membership who do attend the meetings to, buy a raffle ticket, support it.
Help support it. That definitely relax the burden, definitely on the local. And the people that benefits of those raffles, you get nice little gifts and prizes and stuff like that. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. Hey, man, let's talk about those Lions.
Hey man, they grind it out, man.
The last night, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I was one of the ones that looked like, man, it was tough. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going across the room, coming off the wall. It was a lot of frustrating moments, but in true grit, they came through.
In true grit, they
did
came
what
through.
they had to do.
That's what Detroit do.
Yeah, we persevered through it. You know, it was difficult, but they dug deep,
Yeah,
man, and they came up with the win. So
Man, that first half was brutal, man. I'm like, I ain't seen Goff do like what he doing. What's going on?
and I'm sure he just told them settle down, you know, and let's remember to get back to Lions football, and we can get this win, and they was able to do it because
Man, they pulled it
was a
out.
hostile environment, and them Houston, man, I take my hat off to them. They played.
Oh, they
but
played. They played.
They just didn't outplay us.
They played.
They played, but they just didn't outplay us.
But that ball went to the field goal 2 times. It was like,
it was right there.
Right
you know, it was just meant, you know. So we ripped their hearts out. They hurting right now. But hey, we playing with purpose.
So I brought that up because I was up all night watching the game, and it was a nail biter, but it was exciting. But we also are doing down here at the local next week, which is next week it'll be the 17th. Right after the union meeting, we're going to go over to the game room.
Yeah.
And for those union members, that's the local 1,700 members, you know, hey, come on over. Gonna have some light refreshments, and we're gonna have the game on. You know,
and it's just a great way to have the mix and mingle with not only reps or just your union brothers and sisters, and just have a good time, because food is one thing that binds us together socially, right?
Yeah.
So to have the light refreshments and the games and just the different things and the camaraderie, it just helped tighten the family even more, because a lot of times we only see each other, unfortunately, if it's just business or just work, but just to come in a relaxed environment and enjoy the game and people, I mean, I think that's what it's all about.
It's about the fellowship. It's about the fellowship.
All the time, you know, and I think that is just, and I think a lot of people need it, because it's just so much that's going on with just what's going on in the world and just stuff like that. So just to be able to come into an environment where I can just relax and just exhale, I think it's just something awesome for the membership to be able to take advantage of.
Even though we ain't on the iron grid, you know, we ain't on the football field. We do got a pool table down here. We got some cornhole and some air hockey.
Yeah, get a little competitive.
Yeah, we can get, you know, for the fellas to, hey, we just got that
friendly
competitive nature.
competition,
We get the friendly competition. We got the cards out there too.
So
for
it's
you
just
spade
wonderful.
players, you know, up your game, get the beer whiskey in your life. But for the spade players, you know.
And it's just a great way for the members to actually feel connected to the local. Because if, you know, at first you just come down, you had a meeting, like I said, and you conduct business and you leave. But now to come, you can feel that connection. It gives me a place to go. Because, like I said, some people may not have nowhere to go on a Sunday. So to be able to go somewhere and just really relax and have a good time is definitely a plus.
Well, I'm encouraging everybody. I mean, we got a new building. I mean, I need to stop saying new, but we ain't got that 1 year anniversary. I'm gonna continue saying new.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make full utilization of it.
Yeah.
So as you stated, you know, come on down. Don't just go to the meeting. Hang out.
And it looked good. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I am tooting the horn of the local. I mean, it looks good in there, man. I mean, it really do. It is really a great space, and it shows that the leadership and everybody that planned to put that together really gave thought to the people that's going to utilize that space.
Right.
I mean, everything you can think of is there to make the environment that much more relaxing. And I take my hat out to all you guys, man, because it's a nice place. I would say every time I go in there, look, I'm like, man, it's really nice. And I'm hoping that everybody that goes into that space really enjoy it.
I think they will, especially when it's completed. Like I said before, we are in phase 1, right? Today, me and you just took a walk. They're doing construction over there. They tearing out stuff. They putting stuff in. And it's going to take a couple of months, don't get me wrong, but the finished product is going to be amazing. You know, it's going to be amazing for our members, right? As they utilize in the hall rentals and things of that nature. It's just going to look really nice. And I think people are going to be pleasantly pleased. But what we are going to do, I'm going to get with the secretaries this week, because we're going to put a video or a slideshow, I should say, showing the progress from here to here to here, so that you can kind of see what's going on and what all it takes. And, you know, we're not just down here, you know, lollygagging or whatever. We're trying to get some stuff done.
I tell you what, though, just with doing the tour when we were doing it, it makes you feel special to be involved in this phase, because once this is over, you can say, I was a part of that. It's almost like when we build a Ram, you know, you see one on the street, you can say, you know what, I had a hand in that. You know, when I came over to paint, you taught me how to spray, right? When you see a vehicle go past, it was a 200 at the time, or the Sebring, and you see the colors, like, you know what, I painted that, you know. So it's one of the things that we take pride in. So to see the progress of the local coming together, to say that you had a hand in it some type of way, whether it was an idea or just something, it connects you to it emotionally. So it's definitely something that was special to go through there and see that.
Plus, at the end of the day, guess what? This is the membership money. This ain't my money. You know?
Absolutely.
Look, I ain't got that type of money.
Right, right.
But no, this is the membership money. So if your money is going into the pot collectively to make this happen, then come down and see what you're spending your money on. And utilize it. So just like this podcast room, the studio. I don't even want to say a podcast room no more. It's a full blown studio.
Yeah.
Still got work to do, but we're moving the ball forward in that respect. But once again, the Lions Tailgate, come down, hang out. Right after the union meeting, we'll be doing that. I do want to talk about some layoffs, man. We were in the plant, and, I got the email about the layoffs, 84. Talked to the shop chair, talked to the committee. Yeah. As we know, pretty much every week they've been laying off people.
Yeah. And we were, just in the last manpower meeting, I was really pressing them to give us some type of idea of where they're going with these, because every week we understand that they're laying off, and it's like, well, when is the bleeding going to stop? And if it's not going to stop, at least forecast out as far as you can, as far as who's being laid off, so we can at least talk to the people that's impacted, because they have a life that they have to prepare for outside of the being with the company.
Right.
And it's unfortunate to go to anybody and say, hey, Friday, you out of here. That's not how we do that. Like I said, I've been out there 7 times, so I know what it feels like. So I was just really pressuring them. Listen, I know things change, but at least if we can get to them early enough, they can plan accordingly.
Right.
Because their whole life is going to be turned upside down. And I think that they deserve the highest regard, because it's something that they're saying that'll never stop. So because that, let's help them be better prepared.
I mean, you talking about going into the holiday time. Holiday
The worst time.
It's the worst time, right?
The worst
You got
time.
Thanksgiving coming up. You got Christmas coming up. Then you got New Year's. What a way to start the year off, right?
It's terrible.
Being without a job. So, fortunately, we do have some benefits that will benefit our membership as far as sub pay and all that kind of good stuff. But even that's limited in time, right?
Right.
But I always say, as I've always have said, don't wait till the storm get here. Prepare for the storm before the storm get here. And that's what we go back to when we said taking the classes and putting money away, because this is a feast and famine environment.
Yeah. I was always raised coming up through here. My cousin, Bear, he worked at Warren Truck, God rest his soul. He would always say, look, cuz, let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. When you in here and you work, and you prepare for when you're not able to work. That's the way you do it. You always prepare for the days that's coming, because like you say, it's feast or famine. So when you feasting, you got to put away for the famine. Right. And just letting everybody know that is being laid off, even though it seems difficult, may seem like you're going through something. Trust me, I'm proof that you can get back in the game.
You can survive.
You're going to survive. I mean, you were somebody before Chrysler, and you'll be somebody after Chrysler. That's not saying you'll never come back, but remember, you are somebody, no matter what. So always trust in your abilities to be great at whatever you do, but just be prepared. Still do your job. Still make sure you hear. Do everything you're supposed to, because even if you get that call to come back, everything you did before you left is still in play. You just push pause. That's all. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you always still got your best foot forward, and trust me, you'll get back, because I'm living proof of it.
And just like you say, you'll get back. And I'm gonna stand on this. I've been saying it multiple times. Carlos Tavares. He jacked our company up. Ford ain't going through this. GM ain't going. And I'm constantly on automotive news. And I know all of them are going through this little up and down. But Chrysler, Stellantis is going this down. And a lot of it is because of the poor management and decision making, or greed, or all of them, by Carlos Tavares. And first thing, shame on you. But hey, I believe in karma too. But end of the day, you never know what's going to happen in 3 months from now. 3 months from now, 4 months from now, things may change, and those folks that's out there may get called back. I pray they get called back. So don't just think it's all doom and gloom. And at the end of the day, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But if you prepare today for tomorrow, you'll be okay. And for those who are struggling, please, once again, just reach out to your EAP rep. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody.
Don't hold it in, because it won't do you any justice.
Yeah, depression is real.
It is, and only thing that we can blame for this is, to your point, is greed. I mean, that's just what it is. They want to squeeze everything out so that they can put more in their pockets. But just understand, like I said before, understand that you are somebody and you gonna make it. Take advantage of those resources, whether it's EAP, whatever you need to get you through these turbulent times. But remember, it's only turbulent for a minute. It'll balance out. But you have to make sure that you definitely just stay focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's it. Just stay
Gotta
focused.
stay focused, yeah.
Because you'll get through it. We're resilient.
Yeah.
You know, and we gonna get through it.
Layoffs, it is what it is. Stay prayed up. Stay out there in your hustle and grind. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Take the tap classes. Get out there. Line speed. Now, this is a strategy that we talked about briefly last week. International called me about the line speed after we had been notified, and they wanted to come into the plant, so they did come into the plant. Steve Stahl came, Gil Mack came, and we went down to trim, and we went over to the cert line and to final, and we looked at all those lines, and we looked at the line speed, and we talked to management about what their glorious, crazy plan is to make all this match up, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm going to tell everybody to do this, and I've been saying this for a long time. Work within your footprint.
It's very important.
Work within your footprint. Do your elements that's outlined in your SWI, SOS, I don't know what they call it nowadays, but do your work elements and your work elements only. Only. And here's the reason I keep on saying only. A lot of times we do things to help our fellow man, our union brother.
Right.
Hey, I need to run to the restroom. Hey, I need to run down here and heat my food up real quick. Hey, I got to take this phone call for whatever it is or whatever the case may be. And we'd be like, okay, go ahead. I got the next couple of cars or whatever the case is. Sometimes what we'll do is, hey, we're going to work up the line. Hey, I'm moving so fast. I'm feeling good today. I'm going to hit the cars, 2 or 3 cars coming to me that I can work up the line. All those things are to our detriment.
Yeah.
Do not do it. Utilize the tools that's there. If somebody needs to go to the restroom or they need to go heat up their food or whatever, utilize the team leader.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
utilize
important.
the team leader. The team
That's
leader
important.
is busy.
Yeah.
Tell the supervisor, hey, I need somebody down here to cover this job.
Yeah.
I can't cover Ricky over here because I'm already too busy doing my job.
Yeah.
I'm struggling already.
Right. Yeah.
Because when they talk about these line speed reductions, and line speed reduction sounds like, oh, they're going to reduce the line. True enough, they are.
It's a plan.
But they're going to combine more elements. Because now they're going to say you have more time.
Yeah.
And when they combine more elements, the argument can be, because we've been set and watched, and it's been demonstrated, if you can do 70 cars, then you surely can do 60 cars within that same time slot.
And then what do they do once they combine those elements, once they slow the line down? What do they do after that?
They start laying more people off.
And then after that, they start doing what? They start turning up the
Yeah,
speed.
yeah,
So
yeah,
now they didn't, in essence, tricked you because now they slowed it down to where you believe that you can do these jobs because they didn't combine them. Then they slowly but surely turn it back up. So now they didn't just tricked you into doing both jobs.
I remember they did that at Paint Shop back in the day when I was at Paint Shop working on the line. The line got slow, and you're like, oh,
Feeling good.
I'm doing this.
I'm
thing.
getting it,
I'm
yeah.
getting it. And like after like 3-4 weeks, I started noticing.
Yeah, you starting to move back further and further in
Yeah.
the footprint. Yeah.
And then it took another 2 weeks, and then you chasing the vehicle.
Yeah.
But it was less people there.
Yeah. That's what they do. So, you definitely don't want to be the low hanging fruit. So like you said, if you got to go to the bathroom and just throw your food in the microwave, you want to make sure somebody's always covering that job because by the time you've seen the IE, it's too late. He already made his assessment. So always remember his job is just to lay back and just watch you in your normal flow. And once he see you can do it, that's it.
Yeah.
And they don't time no more. They just really look and they just watch.
But they got this system called MODAPs where they have a time already
Associated with
with movement. Yeah. It takes Ricky or take Mike Spencer 1 second to pick up the pen,
Right.
set it here. If you got to do that 5 times, that's 5 seconds.
Right.
It's not a stopwatch anymore.
Right.
And
Take me so long to reach
Yeah.
into the dunnage and pull out a part, So it's just their way of, totally controlling how they reduce and consolidate these elements on jobs. And unfortunately, we show them it can be done.
Yeah.
So by the time we protest, they're like, yeah, but Rick, I watched you, man. You do 4 hours on the job by yourself doing both jobs while Mike is over at the marketplace. So
Right,
we've
right.
seen it. So we
Yeah.
already proven that it can be done because we watched you. So that's why you always want to make sure those jobs are covered because we really do it to ourselves.
I remember when I was a committee man one time, and there was this job. I'm not going to say the job because I don't want to call out the department or the person, right? But this is a true story. I was a committee man, and they were going after this job, right? It was a 2-person job. And I'm fighting against it, and the manpower me. No. The elements to be all this, And they said, okay,
Know the job.
Dog.
Yeah.
All right, for real.
Yeah, I
I
already
was
know.
so freaking bad. The supervisor called me. It was the center manager. Actually, he called me with the IE and
Yeah.
said, hey, you got a minute? I was like, yeah. They came and picked me up on the golf cart.
Yeah.
Got on the golf cart. We rode around there. And we like 2 bays over.
Yeah.
And there was one person there.
Yeah. Just watch.
It's supposed to be a 2-man job.
Yeah.
And we sat there for about 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
My man, the other guy didn't come back for a good 30, 40 minutes, right? You know, I started off with, he had to go to the bathroom. I know they shouldn't do that, but he didn't come back.
Yeah, he was gone.
And that one person was maintaining that job. Not only was he maintaining the job,
Yeah.
he was also reading the newspaper at the same time.
Yeah. And we was on 10 hours at the time.
You know the job I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was 10 hours. And we found out that they were doing 5 hours on, 5 hours off. So it's like, come on now. So then when you caught, it's just, you can't.
I can't argue that, man.
We used to always have where, you know, if we knew the IE was coming, we was giving it all we had. We couldn't keep up. You know, we got sweat rolling, we dropping bolts, we doing what we got to do. But I mean, to get caught like that, I mean, how do you argue that? Especially when you sitting there and you looking at it together.
You can't argue it. And no discipline came to the person, but what came is, because that was actually the relief job for that team.
Yeah.
Because it belonged to a team.
Right.
But what happened is, ultimately, they cut that person out the job.
Yeah, and made it a one person.
Made it one person job.
You know, sometimes we just too good at what we do. You know, we just too good. I mean, we're gonna figure it out how to get it done.
Yeah.
And they anticipate that. So when they throw all that on you, you say it can be done. They know, you know, mentally, the mind is just trained to find the best possible outcome. Yeah. That's why they rate those jobs. So all they do is just sit back and just watch you. And sooner or later, it's just natural for you to find a more efficient way to get it done.
So the moral of that story is
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Stay on the job.
Stay on
You
the
got
job.
a TL, have them cover it. Don't ever become the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. And I always say this: if you see somebody in your department, that particular day they didn't see us, but I'm pretty sure the IE had been out there multiple times.
Yeah.
Hey, stranger danger. You see
Right.
somebody in your department that you don't know and ain't your coworker, hey, all hands on deck. You know, hey, I'm chasing the line. I ain't ahead of the line because you want that job to have some value.
It's almost like being in probably one of the roughest parts of the neighborhood, and you see a guy walking down the street, and he's just super sharp in a suit, clean cut and everything. It's like you look like it's nothing wrong that he's in a suit, but why is he walking down this street in a suit? You know what I mean? And if he got a suit on, why wouldn't he drive looking that good? So certain things just stick out. The point of that is certain things just stick out. So when you see somebody in your area that just don't fit the environment that they're walking through and they looking lost, it's all of a sudden you got to say, you know what? Hey, look, come on, let's tighten it up because we got a visitor. I don't know who that is. You know, so we got to watch and protect each other.
And also you got to keep in mind and keep your eye on your supervisors. You know, once again, they are management.
Right.
And I wear the shirt all the time. I think of quite a few people here now. Management is not your friend.
Say that again.
Management is most definitely not your friend. They have a job to do.
Yeah.
And their job is a whole lot different than what our job. But one of their jobs is to monitor you
Right.
and your work process. And then they do reports at the end of the night, especially if they're tasked to be that guy or that woman. Hey, go out there and figure out where we can cut at. And they go do it.
And always remember, the devil is not going to come to you looking like the devil, right? The devil going to come
That's a good
to
point.
you looking the way you expect him to come looking to you. Not far as a devil, he going to present himself in things that you like, things that you're willing to accept, because that's how you deceive. So if management is coming to you, they your friend, everything is cool, we rocking together, sweet, because he getting what he want. But soon as it come time for them to be a manager, they're gonna show you what side they on. So you got to always keep that in mind. It's UAW and then it's management for a reason. Not saying that you can't have a working relationship.
Right.
Friendship is totally different.
It's totally, and you should have a working relationship with your supervisor. I mean, but once again, friendship is totally
That's
different
right.
because at
That's
the end of the
right.
day, you got here for one reason only:
That's right.
to make money so you can go take care of your family. Right?
I always tell people, if you take the paycheck out of the scenario, right, would you come here?
Heck no.
The answer is no. So you just keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind, and you'll be all right. That's it.
That's 100% true. And when your supervisor come out there and want to talk to you, because I used to do this when I was a steward. Hey, I need to go over there and talk to Lisa. Oh, go ahead. You know, no, I need somebody to relieve her.
That's right.
Because I don't want to cause her to be in home. I was the
right.
steward,
That's
you know.
right. That's right.
So when the supervisor come over and talk to you, first thing you need to say, hey, and especially if they start getting long with, hey, I need somebody to relieve me and talk to you because I'm falling in the hole.
Right.
Because sometimes that's a tactic that if you can stand there and talk and maintain, they take notes on all that. I know it's crazy what I'm saying, but it's a fact.
Yeah, because those are the games. They're crafty, you
Yeah.
know, and they know that you're not going to catch it because you in the moment, right? So they had the conversation. Look, watch this. I'm gonna go over and holler at Mike. I'm gonna show you he could do this job. Hey, look, Mike. Let's talk about the game. And while you doing this, you sitting there, cars going by, you running, you catching them, and you kicking it. And then as soon as they leave, see, I told you. See how he had much time to do all that.
Yep.
And then that's how. And then the first thing you said, well, I thought he was cool. No, you thought he was your friend, but he's not. He's your supervisor.
So with that being said, you know, just keep that in mind. They are doing some line speed adjustments. We are going to be challenging them. We're going to be monitoring them most definitely. I talked to Jabron. Jabron is the committee man out of Trim. I talked to Jamel. He's over there in final insert. So we are going to be watching and monitoring them. The stewards are highly aware. And if you see something odd, crazy, or out of the ordinary, let us know. You know, most definitely let us know.
And just don't let them get away with anything. Things that you may see that you know is wrong, out of place, speak to your steward. You know, call your team leader over. Let's have those discussions because once those changes are allowed to be made, after that they expect you to do them.
Undoing.
That's it. So we want to attack them on the front end and not trying to run behind it on the back end.
Yeah. I've been looking at the repairs coming through the system and the numbers up in ice status. I will say, you know, from our perspective, we're doing a whole lot better than the 8,000 we had in ice status at one point. Last time I looked when I was in there on Friday, it was around 887. Still, you know, as far as the company's concerned, even us, we want to build a vehicle right the first time going through, but we know it's a whole lot of mishap, flaws, and gaps in the system where management needs to fix some things. But I want to say, even though everybody always say, you know, it's us, man, we're doing pretty good in that perspective. And I appreciate 9190 knocking them out, 9190, 9191.
Guys been coming through,
you know,
man.
Yeah, they have. They
Guys
have.
been coming through, and I think a lot of times they don't really give them the proper credit that they deserve because, I mean, I remember a time we couldn't even get through the lot. It was so bad, you know. So for them to come in and conduct these repairs is we definitely take our hats off to them. But they also need to be paying attention to those repair people out of 90 because they highlight a lot of the issues that we're having. And a lot of times we challenge management off their findings saying, hey, listen, to your point, it's not a man issue. A lot of these engineering and just things like that. So once they really start addressing those issues, you know, you'll continue to see that I status come down.
Yeah. But also keep in mind, and this is with trades too, you know, I was in a meeting the other day and they wanted the mandatory trades for this Saturday just passed. And, you know, I had to remind them. And the same thing goes to 90. And I know we volunteer a lot of times because we're trying to get that bread. And I ain't mad at you. Get that bread. I ain't mad at you. Once again, I also think strategically and think how the company is doing you in the long run. They're getting what they want from you.
Absolutely.
Or at the end of the day, they're going to screw you. But keep in mind, if you work 2 Saturdays on, you have the right to opt out that third Saturday.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in their plan, they're hoping that you don't opt out because they're going to turn around and schedule mandatory for production of work.
Right.
Whereas 9190, 91 skilled trades, and some materials, they already work 2 Saturdays.
Right.
And the linchpin in that is they're hoping that you don't opt out, right? So if you want to opt out, make sure you thoroughly communicate that with your supervisor. You know, you're supposed to fill out a form.
Right.
Every department has some type of format that they're supposed to go through, but make sure you thoroughly communicate to your supervisor and you thoroughly communicate it to your steward. Before that day is a timeline on it. I don't have the book in front of me right now, but almost definitely is a timeline on it. Get with your steward. You can tell your timeline that you're opting out that Saturday because we don't want to play into their hands also.
That's right. Yeah. You want to over-communicate it, Make sure that you have any documentations with those signatures checked off because a lot of times management will play like, I don't know what you're talking about. When did you say that you was taking off? I didn't know. So you definitely want to make sure that you over-communicate and have that proof that those days are definitely in the books for you to be off.
Hey, man, you know, I got the CAP came down here, the CAP committee. They did their thing in the studio last week. I appreciated it. They was the first one because there's a bigger plan there. Obviously, you know, I want all the committees to start utilizing this room. So this week coming up, we got a taping scheduled for Friday for the educational committee.
Okay.
Education committee. And it generally take about 2 days turnaround for the video to be put out because we're starting to use a new format, which is the YouTube channel. I hope everybody's appreciating it. And we do know we got some things. The first one we put out is too dark, and we're working on some lighting coming down. So we haven't got it fixed yet, but we're working on that. And then the sound, I think we had some buffering in the sound a few times. So we are working on some things to make it better and better. But ultimately, we want to utilize this room for our committees to put their information out.
Right.
Also with a visual aid. Also how we're utilizing it too. So look forward to the podcast coming out with the Education Committee. And I encourage all the other committees, come up with an agenda, come up with something, that you want to put out to the membership and utilize this platform. But I also want to encourage our members to subscribe to our channel, to the
Got to do
YouTube
that.
channel.
Yeah.
It's just like signing up for the local website. Go on there, hit that subscribe button, so that way every time we put out a podcast, bam, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then too, it keeps them informed, because a lot of times you'll hear someone say, "Well, I didn't know, or nobody told me," but it's a great tool to have. So just get connected, and trust me, that information will come. I mean, it'll come like when it was election time for the president. I'm looking like, God, leave my phone
man, it
ringing.
was killing
Those
us.
text messages and calls, But the local, I would say, they're definitely excellent at sending out those text message blasts, email blasts, to let you know that we have events coming up if it's a new podcast. So definitely get connected, because it's definitely a tool to keep you connected and in the know of what's going on in your local.
Well, I think it's a good tool. Once again, I'm hoping to see some benefits. We are watching the viewership, obviously, and yes, the comments on those channels are not active right now. But if you do have any questions or concerns, reach out to your committee man or reach out to your steward and reach out to me, myself, or the vice president, shop chair, and we'll work on things that we need to improve on, or we'll respond back that way.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, we know social media has always been king,
Yeah.
king. So we're not on the social media level,
Right,
but we're most definitely trying to make sure that the information get out there.
Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate you coming out, hanging out with me.
Hey man, listen, man, it's something that I love doing, because it gives us opportunity to keep the people informed on what's going on. Obviously doing this stuff is not easy, but it's worth it at the end of the day if we reach just one person, so it
reach
makes
one,
it all
teach one.
worth it. Yeah. So, it's always a plus.
There's always a plus. All right, Big Rick, I appreciate South Body Shop, South Paint, North Body Shop, North Paint. That's your
Yes, sir,
area.
that's me.
That's your stomping ground.
That's my stomping ground. Got some great people in there, and I enjoy definitely fighting for them.
And so don't fall on deaf ears. We do know under the local contract, we did have some commitments from the company, negotiated, signed off commitments, and one of them is for some furniture in there, like tables and chairs.
So we definitely still on that. A lot of those things are work in progress, so bear with us, but we definitely making them hold true to the commitments that they made.
I brought up to the labor rep the other day who sat in on those negotiations. He was the lead negotiator. And I said, hey, I'm finna send this email because it's time to pay up. And he reassured me that those funds for that particular item has already been approved. Yeah. And we just got to go through a different process now to get that over there. But I did see somebody mention it on social media, and I was like, I got to make sure I talk about that.
Yeah. So also, too, even with that, the shop as a whole, they still have inside the shop, they have what we call team centers. So they have break tables, refrigerators, microwaves, the whole nine. So actually our paint shop lobby, that's more like a transitional space, when they coming in and leaving for the day. But pretty much as far as their breaks and lunches, we have team centers that's actually inside the shop. So nobody is left out of not having the ability to sit down and enjoy their lunch or their break, because we do have those there. We're working on the lobby part just so they can have that, transitional space. If they off work, they just want to sit there for a minute. If they waiting for a ride or whatever, you just want to have that in place. So, but definitely looking for their overall benefit to make sure they good over there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, hey, on this podcast, we are going to add some music to the beginning and end because we're trying to grow every time. I know we used to do the music thing, so we're going to try to get back to the music intros. But once again, happy Veterans Day to all those. Stay prayed up. I hope everybody, one more thing. Thanks for going out there in Houston, showing out, and then coming back home in peace.
Safely.
We needed that to represent Detroit. With that grit, I want to say deuces.
Have a good one.
I'll stand.